Blu-rays. I have them. People want to see them, I think. At least, people watch these kind of videos on YouTube. Not sure why. What I'm gonna do is talk about select movies that I own and just some interesting tidbits that I come to my mind. Are you getting dizzy yet? I am. Alright, let's start at the top. The tippy top. There's some books. Those are books. Then here's the James Bond collection. It is all of the James Bond movies except for Spectre. And so now it's incomplete and it makes me sad. But it's a beautiful set. I talked about a lot of these box sets in another video where I just talked about box sets. So I won't talk about them a lot. I will mention that I got this Lord of the Rings Extended Edition for only $20 at a thrift store. Go to thrift stores. Vincent Price collection. I'm a big Vincent Price fan. And volume 3 is in the mail. It's coming soon. Star Wars, the not as good version. This is one of my favorite movies of all time, The Bridge on the River Kwai. So if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. And this is a really good Blu-ray set. It's really thick for just one movie. That's a good solid box right there. This Citizen Kane box is just insane. Look how thick it is. So thick. Insert double entendres. Apocalypse Now. I don't think I talked about this Halloween box set in the box set video, but man, I just can't believe that all the Halloween movies, even the crappy ones, are in one box set together. That's something I dreamed about since I was 12. Hi. So on the next shelf, I've got these digibooks here. Now, as you can tell, I don't have all of my movies in alphabetical order, which may disturb some of you, but I am more about appearance. I like to have directors together, and I like to have the digibooks with the digibooks and the steelbooks with the steelbooks. That's just how I like to do things. King Kong, great artwork. So the Tim Burton Batman is my favorite Batman movie, and this does not look as good as the original VHS, which just had the Batman logo and nothing else on it. You don't need this. You don't need the title. Just the symbol, and you know what it is. Unforgiven, probably Clint Eastwood's best movie. It's my favorite Clint Eastwood Western, probably my favorite Western of all time. Little shop of Rick Moranis. This is also a really nice cover. And it's creepy. He's looking at you. Poltergeist, one of my favorite Spielberg movies. It's not a Spielberg movie. This section is kind of just like classic films mixed with some of my favorite films. Like, we got classics like The Graduate and Mary Poppins and Breakfast at Tiffany's and Sound of Music. The Third Man, which is freaking great. Wizard of Oz. And two of the best Woody Allen movies beside each other, Annie Hall and Manhattan. And then I just like put Who Framed Roger Rabbit up here because that's like one of my favorite movies of all time. As well as Young Frankenstein, Singing in the Rain. Robin Hood, The Adventures of Robin Hood with Errol Flynn. This is like one of the most beautiful Technicolor movies ever. Watch it. The Searchers, The Wild Bunch, and How the West Was Won. This is like the best triple feature I've ever seen. Like, and this was only like $15. Like, what the poop? And then all my David Fincher movies. This section is pretty much miscellaneous. This is just like some of my favorites mixed with just some ones I like a lot. It's just miscellaneous. There is chaos. If you're excited for the new Star Wars movie and you haven't seen The Brothers Bloom, which is also directed by Rian Johnson, you need to see it. So good. Silence of the Lamb. Raising Arizona is a movie that more people need to see because it's so good. Amelie. Hi there. Shawshank Redemption. Leon, the Professional. Gary Oldman is insane in that movie, literally. It's another great triple feature. I mean, except for The Aviator, all these movies are great. In Bruges and Seven Psychopaths are two great movies, both directed by Martin McDonagh, and if you haven't seen them, you suck. Alright, I'm taking the camera off of this tripod because it's just frustrating me. Harry Met Sally is one of my favorite romantic comedies. Billy Crystal's so good. Lincoln, underrated Spielberg movie. Milkshake. His Oscar will go on and on. Submarine was directed by Richard Ayoade, and he's becoming one of my new favorite directors. Two lesser Woody Allens, but still really good Woody Allens. Magic in the Moonlight, Midnight Bear. So down here, this shelf is mostly action Mostly, we got double Keanu. Whoa. Whoa. He needs to return some videotapes. The only Mission Impossible movie I owned. I wish I owned them all, but I don't. I just realized John Wick should be over here by Speed and Point Break. What the crap am I thinking? Got the Tarantino all right there together. And this is basically Action Alley. I mean, Die Hard, First Blood, Dirty Harry, RoboCop, Total Recall, Commando. Commando might be my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Really need more Jackie Chan movies on Blu-ray. Need more. Premium Rush is really a lot of fun, and it needs to be seen by more people. As does Tremors. No, Braveheart and Gladiator are two movies I loved in high school, but they haven't aged well. Look at this. I bought the first Hobbit on Blu-ray because I was like, all of these are going to be great. They're going to be great. No, what has aged well is Gremlins and Gremlins 2 and The Goonies. That's a great triple feature right there. Hannah, maybe my favorite Joe Wright movie? Maybe? Requiem for a Dream, a movie that's really good that I'll probably never watch again. So down here is TV. This pretty much represents what my favorite TV shows are. Mostly just have the Matt Smith era of Doctor Who because it's so freaking expensive. This Looney Tunes set is fantastic. And I could just watch Looney Tunes all day. Adventure Time, also really expensive. Like, what the crap, guys? Come on. Firefly and Hannibal, two great shows that had such a long life. Oh. Actually going through The Muppet Show right now. Look at that. It's like church carpet. All of these I love except for Mad Men, which I haven't watched yet. I just own these because I found them for like $2 a piece, and I was like, I'll have that. Shelf number 2, and my arm is getting tired. So if you can't tell, this is the Criterion shelf, where the Criterion sleep on the waterfront. One of my favorite movies of all time. This fantastic Mr. Fox Criterion Collection Blu-ray is just like, look at that. That is beautiful. As is the one from Moonrise Kingdom. Fisher King. This is probably Robin Williams' best performance. So watch it. F for Fake. Orson Welles. That's it. 12 Angry Men. That's one of my favorite movies ever. I know I said that a lot, but it's true. All That Heaven Allows is like one of the most beautiful Technicolor movies ever made. So if you're a sucker for 50s Technicolor, you need to see that. Don't Look Now. Very creepy film. Great Dictator. Probably my favorite Charlie Chaplin movie. Blowout. Best Brian De Palma movie. Maybe. Paths of Glory. Harold and Maude. This is like, if you like Wes Anderson, this movie was probably a big influence on him, so you definitely should check that out. Eyes Without a Face. If you like creepy French movies, this is the one for you. So I got this Alfred Hitchcock set on a whim because it was 50% off, and I was like, 4 movies for 50% off, that's a good deal. And all 4 of these movies were great. The Man Who Knew Too Much, 39 Steps, Lady Vanishes, Foreign Correspondent. They were all great. I don't think Alfred Hitchcock made a bad movie. Okie dokie, so this shelf, as you can see, is the Disney shelf / Harry Potter. Why? Because that's just how it goes. So I'm actually a big Disney fan, and look, I get the Millennium Falcon there because Disney's own Star Wars now. That's why that's there. Yeah, I planned that. I'm a big Disney fan, and I love that they treat all of their classic films really well. Like the Snow White Blu-ray is great. Has a ton of special features. Same with Pinocchio and Fantasia through Bambi. But they don't exactly give as much fanfare for their lesser releases. Like, they pretty much just threw Ichabod and Mr. Toad and Fun and Fancy Free. Which I admit, Fun and Fancy Free is not that great. I love Ichabod and Mr. Toad. They just kind of threw them all on one thing, which is fine because, you get 2 for 1. And they've included The Reluctant Dragon on there, which is complete film in itself, but it's kind of just as a bonus feature because nobody remembers it. But there's really not a whole lot of special features on this. Pretty much nothing, and it would be great to see more stuff on there. Same thing with like their 50s era stuff, like Cinderella through Sleeping Beauty has a lot of great features on it, a lot of behind the scenes stuff, just commentaries, and just really great. It's really great that they did that. But then you get to Robin Hood, and there's like nothing And as for their new releases, they really don't care. Like Frozen has like nothing. It has like a fake behind the scenes documentary. It's like a joke. Pixar, on the other hand, they're great. They have a lot of special features. Although I gotta complain about Toy Story 3. Toy Story 1 and 2. Oh, those are backwards. I didn't even notice that. But Toy Story 1 and 2, commentaries. Really great commentaries. Toy Story 3, no commentary. Like, the injustice. So all these Harry Potters are the Ultimate Editions, which have much bigger boxes that I do not have with me. They are in my parents' house. Why don't I have them? Because they would take up this entire shelf, and that is way too much space, even though they are nice box sets. Also, there's great documentaries on each of these. I wish, like my dream would be that if the three main actors would just do commentaries on all of these, that would be the best thing ever, but who knows if that'll ever happen. And now this is the horror shelf. Horror shelf. Texas Chainsaw, that's a great release, although it's awkwardly really tall and sticks up out of everything. This is a beautiful box set, Exorcist. Is that the William Peter Blatty's? It's got the original theatrical and the director's cut. This was actually really cheap. All 7 of the Nightmare on Elm Street films together, it was only like $15 on Amazon. And how much are all the Friday the 13th movies together? Like $100. Injustice! I actually really liked the Evil Dead remake. Hate me if you wish. I'm glad they Scream Factory re-released Army of Darkness with a better transfer and more special features because the original Blu-ray sucked. Favorite Halloween movie? Alright, I gotta talk about these because these are Scream Factory released these and I just love that they're both on the same disc. These are basically like 1970s British anthology horror movies, and they range from pretty creepy to unintentionally hilarious. Terror Vision! So I bought this because Terror Vision is a hilariously awesome movie, and the video Dead, just based on the cover and the title alone, I bought that. And ended up not being a very good movie, but the title's awesome. Dive, Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings, goriest movie of all time. This is like John Carpenter alley. Got The Fog, The Thing, They Live, and it's awesome but not really appropriate cover for Big Trouble in Little China. Just doesn't fit the theme of the film, really. First Mad Max, that's a great Blu-ray. Road Warrior really deserves a better Blu-ray and doesn't have one, but it deserves one. So all of Edgar Wright's movies are right beside each other. Scott Pilgrim, World's End, which I love, and then Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz in the steel books. Those are really, really nice looking steel books. Steel books, I don't know how I feel about them. I mean, some of the cover ranges from, awesome to okay to that sucks. The Karate Kid is probably my favorite one. Just 'cause look, that's all the bad guys on the cover of the box. That's really funny. Down here basically is family movies and then transitions into superhero / comic books. So like all the Marvel are right there together. V for Vendetta and Watchmen because they're comic books. Ninja Turtles, my favorite Ninja Turtle movie. Mr. Peabody and Sherman is actually a much better movie than it gets credit for. Pee-wee's Big Adventure! Heck yes! Alright, here's something nerdy I can complain about. The Muppet movie, which I love, the original, but they had to put the original classic on the cover, or else people would buy it thinking it was the new Muppet movie, which there's a plane going overhead. Yep. Then we get to the bottom shelf, which is pretty much reserved for comedies. Which some of these comedies I love, some of them I'm just like the To-Do List was $2. Don't judge me. Ace Ventura movies I love. Then I just thought I'd show you this shelf, which is just the DVDs. Now this isn't all my DVDs. These are just the DVDs I've bought since I've moved to California. I pretty much found all of these at Amoeba Records. That I found for only like $20. Which this is like really rare now, these Walt Disney Treasures. Hey Arnold, the complete series, which I got really cheap actually. And then if we travel down, we go past some books, a T-Rex, another book, and then down on the bottom, I put all of my Christmas movies, and I basically just, except for the Tree of Life, I'm going to sell that. But all of the Christmas movies are here because, I will not watch them again until December, so they're just gonna sit here and wait patiently for December.